Have you noticed how often you rush through life, barely taking any time to enjoy the moment? If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. Most of us get so caught up in the day-to-day grind that we forget to actually live. In this video, we're talking about how to slow down and romanticize your life in the simplest of ways. It's not about extravagant changes, it's about shifting out of survival mode, which is the real culprit behind feeling disconnected from the present. Stick with me because by the end of this video, I'm going to share 10 ways you might be unknowingly keeping joy and fulfillment out of your life and how to change that starting today. Making a video! Yay! Yes! When I heard the word romanticizing your life, I would get so triggered. Good morning vlog. Oh my God, I'm so excited. I'm in Cozumel, Mexico with Troy and some of his friends for a little birthday adventure. They are here to do a bunch of diving and I am here to capture this adventure through my eyes, show you a little bit of the things that I enjoy through my lifestyle. So one of my favorite things to do is to make a mood board on Pinterest for either something I'm calling into my life or to capture the feeling of what I want to create for myself. And my latest mood board, I sent it to Bestie and she was like, wow, this is so beautiful. It's like you're romanticizing your life. And I just thought that was amazing. And it's so true. I've been really practicing romanticizing my life. And I wanted to give you a few examples of how you could do that for yourself as well. So a few of the ways that I like to romanticize my life is really playing with tempo. So people say like slowing down, and I really do believe that. For the most part, slowing down your life to really enjoy and savor in the moments is such a beautiful practice, especially in a world that's trying to get us to go faster and faster and faster and faster, right? So I think there's such value and such beauty in being able to actually enjoy a moment, notice the beauty, smell the smells, like see the details. And you can't actually see and sense those things if you're going so fast, right? So really practicing slowing down, right? I love to have a nice slow ease into my day where I am going with the flow, listening to my body and doing things that bring me joy, right? And not getting on my phone right away, not even turning on the lights right away, just like, savoring, right? The feeling in my body. And so that's the first thing that I love to do. Now, what I want to say about this is I'm the kind of gal, like I'm a diverse tempo type of gal, right? Sometimes I find going slow all the time can get boring, right? So by romanticizing my life, I'm able to move quickly through different phases where I'm feeling called to move faster, right? But then it's like, ooh, let's like slow this moment down a little bit and really enjoy it. So like I'm always playing with the tempos. I'm not trying to just be slow and savoring. I'm moving fast when I feel inspired. I'm slowing down when I feel like really catching that moment. Mid-tempo when I'm like this is so good, cruising along, right? So for me, savoring and romanticizing my life is like really bringing that awareness to what's the tempo here and like how can I honor and really like delve into that in the fullest capacity. So some other fun ways that I love to romanticize my life is really taking care of my skin and my hair, right? And essentially my body. So when you start to take care of your skin, your hair, and your body, and this is for male or female, by the way, there's ways that we can all do this for ourselves. You just feel so much better about yourself, right? When you have a glow, when your hair is clean, like, on hair wash day, you're like, it's like cathartic. You feel like a new human. Oh, I just love that, right? So, really taking care of yourself. This is another great way to do romanticizing your life. And I will share a little story with you. So, many, many years ago, before I was able to really slow down and enjoy my life, I would feel like bad or guilty for spending an extra 10 minutes with like a hair mask in my hair, or, doing a face mask at the end of a busy day. Like, these things just didn't feel like a valuable thing for me to spend my time on. And what I recognized through my healing journey is you actually have to build safety and security in your body and in your beliefs around being able to slow down and enjoy that moment, right? There's sometimes some healing work to do to actually be able to enjoy and savor in the moment, right? And so another fun thing I like to do is like get really beautiful desserts. Now, even when I was doing this in the past, say, before I did a bunch of healing work, I would get the nice dessert, but I would just kind of gobble it down without any intentionality. But now I love to savor the experience, like share it with a friend or with my partner, Troy. Capture the food through videos and photos first to like really make a memory, right? And enjoy this dessert in like a beautiful atmosphere. And then, with each bite, like tasting every piece of that dessert and like really enjoying that experience. But to get to that point, it was like little stages, right? Little stages of healing, little stages of slowing down and honoring that tempo that wanted to come through, right? And so it is a process. And I will say that I used to almost feel bad about myself that I couldn't romanticize my life in the way that I wanted to when I first started this journey. Like, I would recognize that I was rushing through an experience that I really wanted to enjoy and just feel kind of bad about myself because it wasn't how I wanted that experience to go, right? And that's actually the first stage, I think, of your healing journey around downshifting, feeling safe, slowing down, allowing your body to relax and almost surrender, right? So that's like the first stage is you're aware that you're rushing and maybe you don't feel that good about that rushing, right? That's the first stage of awareness. And then it comes to this point where you're like, maybe midway through, you're like, oh, I just caught myself rushing through this experience that I really want to savor. And then you're able to slowly start to downshift, right? And then it's like, by the time you know it, you're just fully downshifted in this beautiful moment that you're savoring. So that's sort of like a quick synopsis of like little stages that could happen in your journey of romanticizing your life, right? Now I'm at this stage where every single day I'm tapping into the beauty available. I'm really enjoying what's in front of me. Another way I like to do it is like put on cute outfits. I have a cute outfit on today. And just do it for myself, not because there's anything special happening or a certain event. It's like, today I'm alive and I want to put on a cute outfit and feel amazing, right? So these are things we get to do for ourselves. Another really fun way to play with tempo and romanticizing your life is playing with music. Different types of playlists, different genres of music. I really love to catch the vibe of the moment with the right appropriate music. So is it like smooth jazz, French cafe music? Are we feeling drum and bass, country, like soft piano, meditation music, right? And just filling the space with the type of music that really matches the vibe, for me, this really helps me like drop into that moment even more and create like a sensory memory of that experience. So really play with your music and fill the space with an ambiance that allows your body to drop into that moment in a much more deeper, meaningful way. So another thing that I really love to do, not only surrounding yourself with beauty, but a practice that I have started to do, I think since we lived in Thailand in 2018, is say I wake up and I feel like a little bit hardened. I'm like, "Arr." Maybe there's anxiety, maybe there's some pressure, maybe there's some angst, something like that. I'm like, ooh, okay. So the first thing I do is I go outside. I get myself out of my house, I get myself in fresh air, in sunlight, and I take some steps, go on a little walk. And what I like to do is look at nature. So as I'm walking, I'm like, oh my God, that is the most beautiful tree. Oh my God, that flower is stunning. Oh my God, that tree is amazing. And I'll just look at all the different plants and nature and tell myself like how beautiful and how amazing it is. And by the time you know it, by the end of your walk, you're so softened and brought back into a state of gratitude, a state of peace, you totally forget about whatever you were feeling angsty or anxious about when you started your walk. So I love this practice. I think there can be a misconception on romanticizing your life, thinking it needs to cost a lot of money, thinking it always needs to be this luxury thing, and it's not the case. You can create a moment, a vibe with what you already own, like your existing environment. And what it comes down to is your perspective and shifting the way you're connecting and perceiving the experiences you're having. So instead of grabbing your journal and just like rushing out some affirmations that you aren't even actually feeling in your body, like take a moment, pause, grab your journal, maybe go sit in a new spot in your house or your yard or your neighborhood, and take a breath before you open your journal and exhale, arrive in the moment. Now open your journal and then take another breath, exhale. Okay, what do you really feel like journaling about today? Okay, like tap into what comes up for you. Now grab your pen, bring it to the paper, and it's like, okay, from here, what's coming through me to share, to write, to express, to call in? Beautiful. Now write it out, you know? And so like really savoring each of these steps, bringing awareness, intentionality to it, right? That's just one example of how you can do this. And you can do this with what you have in your reality now. You don't need to go out and like buy all these like expensive things to romanticize your life, right? If you can't do it with what you already own, what you already have in front of you, how is buying something expensive going to make it any different, right? And so what I found is learning to really savor the simplest of things. And then as you bring some healing, some security into your body, you're able to savor different types of things, right? And then with intention, you can start adding in, you know, different pieces that bring you joy, that bring you presence in your body, that make it feel like the type of moment that you really want, right? And I think this is so important because kind of touching on part 3 of the identity series where I said, you know, living in this big, beautiful mansion wasn't what I thought it was going to be, and didn't make me any less or more worthy, right? It really shifted my perspective, and now it's like the simplest of things, like the wind through my hair right now. It's bringing me so much joy, you know? the sight of this palm tree right here with the leaves moving in the wind. I'm like, oh, stunning, right? So find ways to romanticize your life in the simplest of experiences. And then when you start adding on, different luxuries and different aspects of romanticizing your life, it's from a really whole place where you feel whole. And then you're adding this beautiful thing to kind of complement what you already are, right? Rather than grabbing this external thing to try to make you feel worthy of romanticizing this moment. No, this is not the vibe, right? And this is what I'm all about with all my clients and all my work in my own life. It's like wholeness from the inside out and overflow from that place. And then whatever you create in your life, it feels effortless to hold. I was just thinking about something. So before I did a bunch of healing work on myself, when I heard the word romanticizing your life, I would get so triggered. I was like, who even has time for that? Like, why would people do that? That's so lazy. Like, oh my God. Like, it just triggered my body. I couldn't even associate myself with that word, right? And then through the years of healing, deconditioning the hustle and grind mindset in my body, I was able to start being like, ooh, wait a minute, like, I am worthy of this. I do get to romanticize my life. I am the kind of person who enjoys slowing down, savoring. I do feel safe and secure doing that, and I don't feel lazy being that kind of person, and this type of thing. So I just wanted to share that with you. I was just came inside after filming that little segment. I was like, oh my God, romanticizing my life used to trigger me so hard and make me feel like, who am I to romanticize my life? But I just want to tell you that you are worthy of romanticizing your life. You get to have that type of reality. So the next piece of romanticizing your life, something I'm actually very passionate about, lighting. So another way to say this could actually be setting the vibe. So when you're in a space, you can use lighting as well as your music to set the vibe. One example, recently Troy and I realized that we could put our color changing light bulb in our bedroom and then set it to red. Now, in the evening when we're winding down, putting on this red light is actually so relaxing. Instead of having blue light or even soft yellow lighting, oh my gosh, this red light just like calms our body down so much better than anything else, right? And whenever I'm in a room, even a hotel room, I set the vibe with lighting. So for me personally, when I get home, I love like a cave environment. So I like it darker, soft lighting, and this just allows me to recharge at a deeper level. And so I really take this seriously. Wherever I go, I maximize the lighting situation so that I can feel the most relaxed and the most at ease. The next thing I want to share with you around romanticizing your life is actually pacing out your day. So instead of just being like the grinder who's like, I'm gonna work from 6 a.m. until 6 p.m. and then keep going till midnight because I'm insane, right? It's not required, it's not necessary, and you're gonna burn yourself out. Yeah, maybe you'll do a day like that once in a while because there's a deadline or you're really passionate or really want to get something done. But on a day-to-day basis, what's more amazing is being able to pace out your day. So maybe wake up, have a slow morning, or however you prefer to wake up the best. and then pace out your day. So maybe you'll do a few hours of work and then take a break. Go from a work pace to a relaxing pace for a bit. Give yourself a break, a chance to recover, a chance to let the sediment settle, a chance to get into a different vibe. And then from there, it's like, what's the next thing, right? And so for me, I'm very intentional about breaking up my day so that I experience, like the highs and lows, not like emotionally, but like energetically of like inspired, focused, ooh, relaxed, calm, inspired, focused, relaxed, calm, right? And so this allows me to end my day in a few different ways. One, I still feel like emptied, like I did what I needed to do, but I don't feel drained, like I, had the pedal to the metal all day and I'm just exhausted, right? So there's more to life than just grinding. I'm sure if you're here, you know that. You've already been living that way. And part of the permission slip of this video is like romanticizing different elements of your day, bringing it into your day in different ways. Like for me, when I'm in my office, I set the light and the vibe and the tone with the music and all of that. And then when I take a break, I usually go to a different room because I work from home or at home a lot. And then I usually go, say, to the living room, put on a different type of music. Sometimes I'll even like change my clothes or something like that to set a new vibe, get into a new tone for that moment, right? And this is a few different ways I've been able to romanticize my life in a way that brings me joy. Very easy, simple things that anybody can do, and it just brings you into a better feeling in your body, which is the goal. So part of the emotional intelligence that comes with setting the vibe, setting the pace is the awareness to connect with your intuition and your mind and your body and say yes to the messages that you're receiving, right? So I shared the example earlier about the walk that I just went on. Now I was on the Malecon, walking along the ocean, capturing a little bit of B-roll, and I was like, starting to get hungry. And I really want to be on a rooftop. And I want to feel the breeze, and I want to eat like a delicious breakfast, nice and slow, with some coffee and fresh orange juice. And so I listened to that nudge, and I found the exact spot to be able to do that, right? And then after the breakfast, it's like, hey, what do I want to do now? It's like, I kind of want to just go back to the hotel room. I want to record a little bit more of these talking head aspects of the video. I want to change into comfy clothes, be at aircon for a minute, and like have like a little recovery moment and digest moment, right? So then I listened to that. The reason I want to share this is it's so easy to negate the nudges and the little insights you're being told or shown through your body around how to romanticize your life, right? So old Alicia would be like, well, I'm already out and about. I'm already all the way across town. I might as well just stay out and suck it up and walk around and just get more hot, more sweaty, etc., right? So I would just not listen to my body and push myself harder. Now, this is very common, I do believe. And this is why I brought up the healing aspect earlier in the video, because it takes some inner work, it takes some healing of patterning and conditioning in order to be able to start to hear these nudges, first of all. Second of all, to be able to listen to them and respond to them, right? And so again, that's a little bit like a part of that process of maybe first you're able to become aware that you're not listening to your body. And then the second part is maybe becoming aware of the nudges that your body is giving you. And then the third part is like becoming aware, listening to those nudges, and then acting upon them. And I think the mastery level of that, like the fourth step would probably be like being able to feel the nudges, becoming aware of them, listening to your body, taking action, and then in being able to enjoy the action that you're taking. So not just like doing it from the mind now, it's like an embodied thing that you're experiencing, you're savoring, you're enjoying, and you're doing it for yourself because this is what your body or your mind or your heart felt like it wanted / needed in that moment. So as with anything, I don't want you to be hard on yourself because that's the complete opposite of learning to romanticize your life. Just as, say, I've done a deep healing with a client and we've brought awareness to some really deep patterns or conditioning that they've been experiencing, I tell them, getting frustrated at this is not going to serve you. It only deepens the conditioning more. So be grateful that the awareness has come up, and then with that gratitude, you're able to start navigating it from a different energy, right? So that's the name of the game here, is becoming aware of where you're at with your patterns and conditioning around learning to romanticize your life, and then starting to make really micro shifts and changes day to day until you are able to start romanticizing your life more and more and actually truly enjoying the process, really feeling the presence in the moment and feeling so good about doing that for yourself. Now, I know that actually sounds like such a simple thing, and I think I talked about this earlier, but to actually enjoy the savoring of romanticizing your life can sometimes actually be one of the most challenging parts. I know for me in my journey it was. I had so much deconditioning to do around guilt, shame, even just bringing presence and awareness to my body, like that all felt very triggering. So the word romanticizing just was very triggering for me. So that's why I say, I understand. Wherever you're at in this journey, it's perfect. Bring awareness to it and start to make those little micro shifts day to day, and you will start being able to enjoy the small things in life, the beauty of life, and that will in turn expand into more and more. So I'm just packing up here, and I wanted to share what I realized last night. So as it relates to romancing your life, this is really the work of moving out of survival mode and into thriving mode. So survival mode says, there's not enough, I need to work harder, I have to scarf down this food, I need to get back to work, and I'm always rushing. And thriving and romanticizing your life says, I get to slow down, I get to calm my nervous system. I get to make special moments for myself. Romanticizing says, I want to make a memory. I want to make this a moment. I want to set the vibe here. I want to remember this looking back. This morning, I got everyone up at sunrise and we drove to the beach so we could watch it. I made a moment for everybody, because I wanted to capture some iconic footage for this vlog, and I also wanted it to be a beautiful, special moment for my friend's birthday. And so we did that. We woke up at sunrise, we drove there, we made the moment, right? This is what romanticizing your life is all about. Being able to remove yourself from the survival frequency across every area of your life. And as we mentioned before, this happens piece by piece by piece. As you start to dismantle all these layers of conditioning that are making you rush, that are making you feel forced, that are making you feel stressed, that make you feel like there's never enough time, you just exhale, remind yourself that there's always enough time, there's always more than enough. You get to savor this amazing life. Slow time down when you want to, speed it up when you want to, and make the most out of every single moment. That's what I feel romanticizing your life is all about. Okay. In the name of the theme of this vlog, I came to this cute little spot. We have resident palm tree. I can hardly see the frame, so hopefully we're good. We have our beautiful chocolate maya, which is like a spicy hot chocolate, which the ants are already trying to get. And the most insane chocolate chip cookie, that I've ever seen. I ate one and I went back to get another one because this is what it's all about. Put that in the shade for now. And I wrote out a list because we've talked about romanticizing our life, and we've talked about ways to start incorporating that, really simple ways that you can literally do like in any moment. And then I wanted to make a list of all the ways that you might be withholding the romanticization of your life from yourself. And this list even surprised me. This is why I like to put pen to paper, because some of those things I was like, wow, I'm still doing that too. So this is a process, a journey, and really fun. So let's start. Rushing through your routine. So instead of savoring the moments, you're rushing through tasks like eating, grooming, or even walks, treating them as get done rather than enjoying them. I mean, who can relate, right? 100%. Being on autopilot, this is so natural as a human because we're 95% run by our subconscious mind. So really making sure you have good patterns in there and taking yourself out of autopilot. Neglecting self-care. When self-care feels like a chore, people skip skincare, dressing well, or taking time for themselves, missing the opportunity to feel pampered and present. So just as we talked about, like taking care of your skin and your hair is such a great way to start romanticizing your life. What I notice is when I stop doing those things, it's a signal to check in with myself and be like, why aren't I doing those things? Especially hair wash day. As a curly hair girl, like, whew. So the next one, avoiding creativity, not experimenting with new experiences, routines, or outfits can make you feel like a monotonous life just on repeat rather than really enjoying and being special and adding pizzazz to life, right? So this summer, I actually bought myself an entirely new wardrobe. I spent 1 month shopping in Edmonton, Canada, where I was born actually, and I bought an entirely new wardrobe, which I haven't done that in so long. Troy and I have been traveling for many, many years, almost 9 years now, and most of that was living with carry-on luggage only, so having 2 or 3 shirts, 2 or 3 bottoms, and yeah, now I have a home base, per se, in Mexico, and I finally have a closet that makes me frickin' smile, so it was time. Focusing on the end goal is the next one. So when the focus is solely on productivity or results, you may miss out on the pleasure of the process, whether it's cooking, working, or even as simple as just going on a walk. Because you know how a lot of people like, no, I should go on a walk, it's good for my health. But are you just like rushing through it on autopilot? Or are you really present and aware? So really check in with yourself. And you can use that practice I mentioned earlier around really noticing nature. Oh, I love that tree. What a beautiful flower, etc. So skipping personalization, opting for convenience over intention. Like eating fast food or wearing the same thing daily removes the joy of curating experiences that feel special and meaningful. A great example is even for this trip. I packed specific outfits for each part of the day, and I literally wore every single outfit in the moment that I intended to wear it, and I felt so happy, so comfortable, and so stylish. And it was so cool. And I didn't overpack. I had 1 bag for this entire trip. Ignoring sensory experiences. Being too caught up in thoughts or tasks to enjoy simple pleasures like music, the taste of your food, the feeling of soft fabric. Spicy hot chocolate. So good. And I can really relate to that one because I used to be scared to feel because I'm such a feeler and things can be so intense for me. Like I'm a highly sensitive person, super feeler. And so sometimes when I'm out in the world, like out of my safe environment, like my house and things, it's like put a protective shield up so I don't have to feel everything, which can be a lot, right? But it's like knowing when you can take that down, really enjoy something, and so really slow down. So that was actually a big one for me. Overlooking the small moments. People often undervalue small, joyful experiences like a morning coffee ritual or a sunset because they seem too ordinary to appreciate fully. What I can say about that one, as a person who has created a six-figure business many, many years in a row, living my dream lifestyle for many, many years now, it really does come to the small things. Like knowing that I love spicy hot chocolate, knowing exactly where to get it, getting it exactly when I want it, like it brings me so much joy, right? And it's the small things, like knowing which outfits I wanted to wear, trusting that those outfits were the perfect items to pack, and then, you know, wearing them. It's small things like feeling the breeze on your skin, being with your friends, having a fridge full of food. Like these are the things that actually truly matter, honestly. Staying indoors too much. This one, when I wrote it down, I was like, oh my God, this is me. Because I live in the tropics, it's so freaking hot. And so oftentimes I'll just like avoid the heat by staying inside in aircon too much. So I'm gonna challenge myself to get out even more during the week. So avoiding time outside, whether for a walk, fresh air, or just appreciating nature leads to missing out on grounding, refreshing experiences. And the last one that I wrote, there's obviously more, but letting stress take over. So when overwhelmed by stress or anxiety, you often rush through life, skipping moments of reflection, beauty, or joy to deal with pressures. And this really comes back to survival mode. It takes ninja skills to decondition the survival mechanisms in your brain because they're so deeply rooted from millions and millions and millions of years of programming, right? So always reminding yourself you're safe, you're taken care of, it's okay, you're gonna come out of this experience better than ever, like these types of things, right? And letting your body and your subconscious mind know that. So depending on your level of risk tolerance and what types of lifestyles you've been living, you're gonna wanna start to push the bounds of this, right? And do it in at a pace that feels good for you. So some people operate really on a very like peaceful Zen pace, and some people operate at a faster frequency, right? And they're both okay, but like honoring that and trusting yourself to do what you need to do so you can get out of survival mode, right? I noticed this one so big with money. There was a time when Troy and I, our businesses finally started working. Once we went full-time online, it obviously was like 24/7 working, putting ourselves out there, creating epic content every day, creating new programs every month. Really, you know, doing the darn thing 24/7. And then there was a time where the business is, because we each have our own, we're working. We had monthly reoccurring revenue. We had savings in the bank. And then I noticed that we were still operating from survival mode in certain ways. And I was like, this is interesting. We're not really in survival anymore, but why am I still functioning like this? It's because you still have to re-identify with your new reality, right? So dismantling the survival mechanisms that still exist around the choices you're making, the way you're operating with your energy, how you schedule yourself, all these types of things. So even when we became more financially stable, there was still survival mechanisms happening. We were overspending because we weren't used to having excess, and that's the subconscious way of going back to what was normal for it. We would continue to hustle and overwork ourselves even though we didn't need to any longer. We would also be still scared to invest in our future and invest in experiences and training and mentors that would, move the needle forward even more. And we would still act like the old versions of ourselves, right? And so I will be honest, like the transformation to integrate from a survival mode to really thriving and owning that identity took some years, right? There can be some quick shifts that occur, like, oh yeah, of course I can, buy these things that bring me joy, like extra cookies and the coffee that I love, or the clothes that I really want, or the shoes that I really want, or the mentor that's calling to me, things like that. But like to truly hold without effort this new reality you've created for yourself takes a bit of time to stabilize, right? And now many years into that process, it's effortless for me to be in this place. And now my baseline is romanticizing my life, is enjoying the moments, is creating memories, is using the wealth created to maximize my quality of life and create memories and experiences that will bring me joy and deepen my own sense of identity and self as well. And so these are things you get to start to do with money, and this is why I wanted this to be the next piece of the identity series, because it was the most triggering thing for me to start to decondition this, because it's like the white claw thing where you're like, oh, but no, I can't stop, I can't let off the gas pedal, I can't, relax, it's not safe, right? That whole vibe. And then to slowly release the tension and breathe and slow down, created an entirely new reality for me, my relationship with Troy, all of my connections, the way that I show up in business. Oh my God, it's just the best. But I share this to say that the journey to get here wasn't a straight line. It wasn't perfect. It was messy. It was figuring it out piece by piece, really digging deep, doing really deep, disgusting inner work to clean up the trenches of the soul. And also sometimes just simply choosing what I knew was meant for me at the highest level. And sometimes in that choosing and just saying, that's my identity, that's who I want to be, and then choosing it, boom, it integrates so fast, right? So it's a bit of both. There is those things that just snap into place, and then you're like, oh my God, here we are, this is my new reality, and there's nothing less than this, only more. And then there's times where it's in the trenches, digging deep, and really giving yourself the time and the space and the energy and the commitment to shift. And when you shift that baseline frequency within yourself, you naturally hold more and are able to relax more. So, yay.
Now you have the tools to start romanticizing your life, and you know how survival mode has been keeping you from fully enjoying those small, meaningful moments. Remember, it's not about doing more, it's about feeling more, especially in the mundane moments. If you found this helpful, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next video in this series. And if you're ready to dive deeper into how to upgrade your identity to match your vision, check out the link in the description below. I've got more videos waiting for you, all focused on helping you create a life that's not just about surviving, but thriving. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.